so proud, I have to tell y'all, to be here tonight as your mistress of ceremony. Believe me, when you get to be the age I'm getting to be, you want to work that word mistress in when you can. Just to keep people guessing. And we're to the part of the night where I usually introduce tonight's testimonial speaker. Well, tonight is a little bit different because I'm not only your mistress, right? I'm also the testimonial speaker. You know, a lot of you, thank you so much. A lot of you have heard me talk on the radio and on TV, and as I mentioned earlier tonight, 3 of my 4 children have autism. So I'm going to speak about my family's journey and why it's so crucial to have organizations like Fraser. I'm not a native Minnesotan, but I've been here long enough to become accustomed to having the best, right? We have the best of the Great Lakes. It's even named Superior. I mean, you know. Someone gets cancer or a scary sounding disease, well, they can find the best treatment at Minnesota's Mayo Clinic. They come from all over the world. And if you know someone with a child who is diagnosed with autism or other disabilities or in need of children's mental health services, the first thing you say, have you been to Fraser? Because for over 80, yes. Because for over 85 years, Fraser has built a reputation for being the best in tailoring services, therapies, programs, special needs for kids with autism and other special abilities, just like my babies, right? And here is one of the marks of Fraser's greatness. You don't have to use their services to benefit from their work. Their footprint is not just inside the building, but it's out in our community. Fraser's like a big wave. Fraser gives lift and power. And as families who have children with special needs, y'all, we are paddling like crazy, sometimes hanging on for dear life. And then here comes Fraser, and they lift us up. And we get to be better in life because of Fraser. Now listen, I got 4 kids. My 3 youngest children, Brandon, Cameron, and Daniel, have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. That 4th one in the back, Andrew, that's my teenager. He got his own teenager thing going. My 51-year-old hormones were not set up for teenagers. It might be easier raising 3 kids with autism than raising, who got teenagers? We're going to have a prayer meeting in the back when this whole thing is over. But like I told you all earlier, I came from Texas. I was down there living with my children when I realized 3 of them had autism, right? And I remember calling the social worker in Texas and saying, what do you have for my children? They offered me nothing. They said maybe in 10 years they'll come off a wait list. And everybody in Minnesota was telling me about Fraser. You got to get here. They were bragging on Fraser. You got to come. They were bragging on Fraser. You got to move. Move from Texas, leave my mama and my daddy and everybody I love to get to Minnesota. If your kids are going to get better, if they're going to have a better quality of life. And so that is what we did. And I have to tell you, that's what I tell other parents to do. My friend Josephine is sitting right here. She just got here from Georgia. First thing she said, how do I get to Fraser? She's got 6 kids with autism. She left Georgia to come here because she heard about Fraser. That's what Fraser's doing. But, you know, I remember the first time I felt Fraser's footprint outside of the community and the building, right? Outside of that Fraser network. I don't know about y'all, but I love going to the state fair, okay? I'm personally probably making Sweet Martha a millionaire. I don't know what's in the cookies. I don't know. It could be opioids, crack. I don't know. But I have to have it. I'm there every day, whether I'm driving or walking or skateboarding or catching the light rail. Okay, I have to be at the state fair. The food, the rides, the animals, the grandstand, the shows. It's the 12 days I look forward to for the entire year. Like some people look forward to the 12 days of Christmas, not me. I look forward to those 12 days of the state fair. Okay? But this is the thing. If you have kids with autism and you're going to the fair, y'all know what we battle: the crowds, the noises, the flashing lights, the smells, the manure, and then my beloved hot grease. Everything's got to be fried. But it can be way too much of a good thing. But for our kids to miss out on the state fair because it's so overwhelming, it's not fair. But then here comes Fraser with a cape on to the rescue. They have this sensory building, smack dab in the middle of the fairground. It's an oasis where you can take your kid and take a break when it gets too stimulating. They have knowledgeable support volunteers with tools and techniques and tricks and weighted blankets and fidgets. I went in there and took a nap, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. My kids started doing better. I was like, give mama 5 more minutes. I got to sleep off these cookies. Give me 5 more minutes. It is an all-inclusive spot for visitors of all ages who have sensory processing challenges that'll benefit from a welcome space. Fraser has also worked with the Vikings and the Twins on their sensory rooms at US Bank Stadium and at Target Field. Give them a round of applause. For my family, the sensory room at US Bank Stadium has been a game changer. Before the room existed, my family was able to maybe stay for the first quarter. We would get the kids ready, get the gear on them, get them to the game. They were so excited because we want them to have the same experience as their normal developing friends. We don't want them to miss out on anything. But the Viking would come out, he would blow the horn, the fans are rowdy, everybody's having a good time, and my kids would have a meltdown. And you know, people have paid a lot of money for these seats, and other fans would get upset because my kids were crying, and they couldn't enjoy the game, and that's not fair to them. Okay, and then one guy got mad and kicked our seats. You know, that happens. I tried to get up, I tried to take the kids to the bathroom, but you get in there and it's noisy, right? The toilets are flushing, the ladies are having a great time, folks are spilling beer, and it's just too much for my kids. So when we heard about the new sensory room at US Bank Stadium, we brought the whole family to a preseason game with high hopes. And we got to that sensory room, and the Fraser staff greeted us, and they were so warm and so welcoming. They showed my kids how everything works, and my kids played with everything. Nothing was untouched. They were braiding the workers' hair. They was just doing all kind of stuff. We had a great time. And this was the best part, guys. The Fraser staff said that we could take goodie bags with us. Inside of these goodie bags, there were headphones, noise-canceling headphones that my kids could use to go out and enjoy the rest of the game. I thought surely we had to bring these back. This was take home. This is what Fraser provides. My kids had never stayed past the first quarter. Because of Fraser, in the sensory-friendly room they provided, we were able to stay through the end of the third quarter, and that was a record for my family. It completely changed our experience. We weren't watching the game in fear, wondering when something was going to happen. We enjoyed it just like all the other families with normal developing kids, whether they had a disability or not. And this was a really big deal. Now, because of Fraser's leaderships, my kids can participate in all kinds of stuff that their friends do with their families. We go to a ball game, root for the home team, right? You know, it's a beautiful space that works for us. It creates acceptance for my kids with their peers. And people always talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is what real inclusion looks like, when kids with special needs are welcomed into spaces, right? And sometimes when we're away from home, my kids are giggling or restless or fussing or shouting out or getting loud, being themselves. I still sometimes think people view my kids as invisible, right? Because people look through them or look away from them like they're not there. And if you have a child with special needs, you know our children are last to go on the playground. They're always on the last little bitty bus to come to the schoolhouse. They're the last ones to eat because they got to clear out all the other kids. But Fraser puts our kids first. Children and adults with autism and disabilities are never invisible at Fraser. Fraser sees not only our kids, they see us. They see the family. They see the struggling mother who's contemplating suicide. They see the father who wants to walk away from his family because it's too much. They see the older sibling who is depressed and feels like nobody's paying attention to him. They see the whole family, the grandmother who is in denial. They see and treat the whole family. They don't see our kids as a collection of diagnoses, kind of like a one-size-fits-all. When they see the Brundidges, they see a busy, noisy, happy family with kids who like chicken tenders from Raising Cane's. That's like my satellite kitchen. They like know all the people in the drive-thru. When they hear our voice, they just take our order and push us up to the front. They see kids who like to go camping in our family's Camping World RV and sing in the choir at church. Your donations tonight support kids like mine who need early and intensive care so they can get off on the right start. That's what this is all about. Fraser is our advocate. They're our connector. They know what we need before we even know what we need. Let me tell y'all something. The services they provide, not only that, but the partnerships they build, all these extra things Fraser does, like having sensory-friendly rooms at the fair with the Vikings and the Twin, that reverberates throughout the whole community. We don't get earthquakes in Minnesota, but I'm telling you, I hope y'all can feel the reverberation tonight. Our kids deserve the best, and I need all of you. Let's help Fraser to continue to deliver that to our entire community.